Hello there, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are currently on Allag. This is my character that I made on Zodiac for the purposes of doing various story-related videos, which is a series that I didn't continue with. It's still available, actually, on my channel, but it's a bit on the old side now, and you can hopefully tell the difference in production quality between then and now. But with 5.0 coming out within the next couple of months, and with the greater focus on the Crystal Tower, I thought it would be a good time to go and reacquaint myself with that particular storyline. To what end? I'm in Mordona, at Revenant's Toll, and I've not done any of the Crystal Tower stuff on this character, so they've just changed, I believe, this very first quest, because didn't you have to do a big fate or something before in order to get this quest line going? I can't remember. Either way, I figured it would be a good idea to find out what's going on. Unfortunately, the last time I leveled this character was before they made the significant changes to quest rewards for finishing job quests. So unfortunately, whilst I am level 60, I'm using very, very basic armour and stuff. Never mind, I have just picked up my Aetheryte earrings though. So the legacy of Allag. An oddly garbed man visiting Revenant's Toll has some information which might be of interest to an experienced adventurer. This, of course, is Nero. Yes, I'm not entirely sure why the dialogue's there, but whatever. Do I know you? Ah, unless I'm very much mistaken, you are the famed adventurer who bested the Garlean Empire's general, are you not? The great Demajen Thornley herself. Amazing. And more than a little serendipitous. One might even call it fate. But I but recently received word of a truly unique opportunity, you see. An opportunity the like of which none but one of your proven worth could take advantage. The reward? Not less than the accumulated knowledge of a fallen civilization. The risk? A single misstep could cost you your life. But what is a little danger to a storied hero such as yourself? A woman with absolute confidence in her own ability stands to profit handsomely from this venture. No, I crave no recompense for my part in bringing this opportunity to your attention. The historic discoveries you shall make will be reward enough, I assure you. If my words have fanned the flames of your curiosity, then bid you seek a man by the name of Rambos at Connock's Find. It is he who stands at the doorway to untold marvels, awaiting the arrival of a champion bold enough to march across the threshold. I'm not entirely sure why we don't recognise Nero. Apparently, the company Chocobo is my mount of choice on this particular character. And also, I've apparently got mount music on. Which is fine. I don't tend to have mount music on very often. Usually because I like the zone music. Especially when I'm exploring new places. So yes, there's the Crystal Tower. Looking all shiny and sparkly. Have I not been here before? If I have, I haven't talked to anybody. Lambos. Why, if it isn't Demajen Thornley herself. I was not expecting such a celebrated guest. To what do I owe the honour of this visit? Blah, 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 blah. You were directed here, you say? By a man clad in foreign garb? Well, the opportunity you spoke of must surely refer to our latest anthropogeographical. Yeah, that's not a real word. Probably is. Endeavour. Quite how we came to know of it is another matter. All knowledge of this project was supposed to be restricted to my organisation. But that is something for me to ponder in private. Here now, and your services will, I am certain, prove invaluable. I must warn you, however, that the venture we have in mind is no simple excavation. An unprepared or uncautious adventurer could very well find herself on an unplanned and unpleasant journey to Thal Solemn Halls. Knowing this, do you still wish to lend us your cooperation? Nod. I rather thought you'd say that. Your courage is scarcely a secret. Now, the first... Oh, who's this? I think this is this Biggs and Wedge? Demajen? I thought it was you. Oh no, it's Sid. Biggs and Wedge are in it. What brings you to St. Connex's Find? Don't tell me the Alliance has sent you on another realm-shaking, history-making mission to lay low and apparently insuperable. Is that a word? Insuperable? One moment. Google. It is, apparently, insuperable. Impossible to overcome. From Latin. We've both learned something today. Where was I? Yes, an apparently insuperable foe, yes? No? So you two are already acquainted. That is well. Master Garland, our intrepid hero, caught wind of the forthcoming expedition and has kindly pledged to assist us. She has she? Glad to have you aboard, Demajen. You don't have to... what, eh? Oh, you don't have the faintest idea what you volunteered for, do you? Very well, let us begin at the beginning. A fine place to start. The Sons of St. Connect are tasked with unearthing the secrets of the long-fallen Allag Empire, and this present endeavour aims to delve more deeply into the civilization's mysteries than ever before. But I know that look. In the event that you feel ill-equipped to contribute much on the subject of Allag archaeology, I invite you to record your encounter with the Ultima weapon. That mechanical monstrosity represented a feat of engineering far beyond aught Garlemald could presently achieve. Nero Tolskeva simply awoke it. Is that where the Skaver in Skaven comes from? Skaven weaponry. See, I haven't done most of the Omega stuff in Stormblood, but I'm fairly certain that isn't Skaven weaponry a thing there, and wasn't Nero helping us with that? I did the first round, the Deltascape, and I haven't touched it since. Anyway, I mentioned this by way of a reminder that you have had what one might term extensive first-hand experience with a notable Allag relic. In short, you're practically an archaeologist. We blew it up and set fire to a great swathe of the area with a small nuke. I suppose we're an archaeologist in the same sense that Lara Croft and Indiana Jones are archaeologists. Now, to the core of the matter. Here in Mordona there stands an entire Allag structure which we have yet to investigate. I speak, of course, of the Crystal Tower. After witnessing the destructive capabilities of the Ultima weapon and the Lesser Moon Dalamud before it, it seems wise to treat any remnants from that era with the utmost caution. They must be analysed, monitored, and, above all, kept from falling into the wrong hands. It's a big tower, so... to put it plain, I have no wish to see another megalomaniacal... I hate that word. Too many syllables to wrap my tongue around. Legatus wield one of these weapons. It was this thought which first moved me to contact the Sons and propose that the tower be explored. For several millennia, the Crystal Tower remained hidden, buried deep underground, but like so many other things that were better left undisturbed, the structure was freed from its stony prison by the great upheaval which accompanied the coming of the Seventh Umbral Era. It now stands revealed in all its splendour, a gleaming spear of crystal pointed at the bosom of the heavens. I can't remember how it was actually hidden, because clearly it's too tall to have, been obscured by other things, especially around Silvertear Lake, which is fairly flat. Or was it illusionified? Can't remember. Oh yeah, we need to get past these gates, don't we? And I think this was where fate came in. We had to collect some things in order to get past them. But apparently we don't have to do that anymore. Lock. Surprise! We believe the tower to be the repository of much of the ancient wisdom. Unfortunately, its entrance is guarded by formidable defences, and we cannot so much as peep through the keyhole, much less set at foot inside. These defences take the form of statues carved into the likeness of giant swordsmen. The 8 sentinels, as the sons are wont to call them, is the first barrier we must overcome. So how are we going to do that now then? Because why not simply fly over them in an airship, you ask? It's been tried before. Any vessel that ventures too close to the tower is blasted out of the air. We either destroy those statues or the front door is forever beyond our reach. It's very well guarded, basically. Our colleagues and I are all suited to negotiating such deadly hazards. Thus, if we're to gain access to the tower's secrets, we must needs employ the services of an experienced adventurer. It will be difficult and dangerous, Demajen, but I can think of no finer woman for the task. If I didn't know better, I'd say you had a taste for these deadly escapades. I look forward to working with you again. There's much more to be done before we can begin the expedition proper. Take some time to prepare yourself, and I shall explain the challenges that lie ahead. This, incidentally, is what my character in version 1 of Final Fantasy XIV looked like. I kept the appearance saved and transferred it over. Right. Our first objective is to reach the entrance to the Crystal Tower. As I previously mentioned, however, that'll prove no easy task. The entrance is guarded by powerful defensive mechanisms, each utilising one of the 4 elements of fire, water, wind, or earth. Anyone attempting to simply stroll past these unsleeping sentinels invites swift obliteration. Based on Master Garland's analyses, however, we're reasonably certain that the attacks of these lethal contraptions can be reflected using a crystal of the corresponding elements. Naturally, these crystals must be of surpassing clarity, free of the slightest impurities, much like the flawless specimens used by the beastmen in their primal summoning rituals. Mayhap I should have said exactly like the specimens they use. Well, any other way, we'd not ask this of you, but we need someone to enter the Beast Tribe's stronghold and liberate their perfect crystals. For the moment, I'll have you focus on obtaining 2 of the 4 crystals we require. Pray make for Lenosha, where both the Sapsa spawning grounds and the Gamera mines are located. You may be certain that the materials used in the Beastman's sacred rituals will be well defended. Whether you choose to venture there alone or with companions, I shall leave to your discretion. But whatever you do, please be careful. So it looks like we now have to go and survey a spot. Because didn't it used to be... Yeah, it used to be that there was a notorious monster fate in each of those areas, and we had to go and complete the fate, and it was quite difficult to do solo, I think. So now it looks like they've just changed it so it's a forced spawn. Which makes sense, to be fair, because you have to have this quest done, I believe, in order to actually do anything in Shadowbringers. Because obviously we're using the Crystal Tower, and if we don't have it unlocked, we're not going to get very far. Also, apparently some of these are still on my... are these Grand Company? Yeah. I haven't even finished the Grand Company stuff on this character. Right, let's see. Is this setup the same as it is on my main? I just need to check. I think it is, yeah. I'm a bit over level for this, of course. Yeah, so that's all you need to do. Nice and straightforward. I mean, obviously at level 50, it's probably going to be ever so slightly more of a challenge. Slightly. Not by much, I wouldn't think. Do I have a character that's... something that's around level 50? I've got a level... Don't I have a paladin? Level 54 paladin. Let's just... That's going to be slightly closer, just to see how difficult it actually is. Again, I don't think it's going to be particularly challenging at all. Oh man, it's all the way at the back. Yeah, so these... I'm going to actually drag this to my bar. Guess that makes sense. These destinations are, I believe, in the same place as the fates are. And it's possible that the fate still is here. I haven't played Paladin in a long time, actually. To the extent that I don't actually have half the abilities unlocked. Yeah, I don't think that will be in any way challenging for anybody, which is fine. That's the point. It's not supposed to be super difficult. Let's head back to Moderna. So yeah, that will really help ease the entry, because obviously if you had to do the fates, because I don't necessarily remember it being... Oh, that bar changes as well. Of course it does. Turn back to that. I think it probably was 100% drop. I can't remember. It's been probably 4 years since I did that originally. But that's the whole point of revisiting it for this. Progress your efforts in infiltrating the Beastman's strongholds. Surprisingly effective. Ching ching. So, these are the famed flawless crystals of the beast tribes. I've seen countless specimens from I know not how many excavations, but nothing to compare to these. Their purity is astounding. You've done well. With these in our possession, we lack only the crystals of fire and wind. The former lies in Zaharak, the war camp of the Amalja in Thanlan. The latter, in Natlan, the roost of the Ixal in the hills of Kurthus. You can expect them to be as closely guarded as the first two, if not more so. Still, I look forward to receiving word of your resounding success. Let me go. Obviously, if you are just starting out and you are trying to catch up to Shadowbringer's content as quick as possible, then chances are you won't do this particular quest line at level 50. You'll probably get to level 70 and won't be able to move on to Shadowbringer's content until you've got it done. So you'll be going back at 70 to do this stuff, which obviously is just going to be very, very simple and straightforward and just time consuming. So if nothing else, this may give you a decent indication of how long it will take. That being said, I'm assuming you just need to do this first quest in order to gain access, as opposed to having to do the entire Crystal Tower questline, including all 3 24-man raids. That being said, my purpose is to have a go at that, despite the fact that I haven't done them in about 3 years. And I certainly haven't tanked them in 3 years. I think the last time I went, I used to go on healer. But I want to remind myself of what the story is, so that as I go through Shadowbringers, I can take a look at any parallels they might come up with. Apparently I'm out of range. There we go. Yeah, I don't think you'll one-shot that stuff at 70, but it will be pretty darn close. Yeah, most of this is travel time. And of course, because I've been reading stuff out, obviously that extends the time things take as well. This way. I always get turned around in Kurthus. Whenever I teleport to Camp Dragonhead, I always... And Mordona, actually, Revenant's Toll. I'm sure it places you looking in different directions each time. It's really difficult to get your bearings. Well, difficult. It takes a little bit of time. Second or more. I spent quite a lot of time here in version 1. Obviously, they were not covered in snow and stuff. Yeah, this is definitely where all the there used to be big notorious monster fates that spawned here. I love Dark Knight. Oh. I thought you were going to spawn there. I was mistaken. Oh well. Got the pretty bubble. Yeah, I need to get back. I keep saying to myself, I need to get back into tanking on Dark Knight because I've been levelling up other jobs. The problem is that until May rolls around, which to be fair isn't all that far, it's a couple of weeks, they're changing the battle system. They're changing from MP and TP to just MP. And obviously Dark Knight is very closely tied to both resources. So I don't know how much point it is just reminding myself how Dark Knight works until I see how sweeping the changes are. Right. Demajen, it's good to see you. Tell me, were you able to obtain the remaining crystals from the beastman? Certainly was. Flawless fire, flawless wind. Unblemished. Wonderful. With the 4 crystals in hand, we're now prepared. No, can't read. We are now ready to proceed to the next stage of our preparations. I hope I did not give the impression that we've been embarking on our journey to the Crystal Tower just yet. Alas, there is another step which must be completed if we come to that. While the crystals you acquired are indeed flawless, they are of little use to us in their present form. If they are to reflect the elemental forces of the tower's defences, they must needs be cut and polished. A process which calls for a very particular set of materials. Procuring them will be a challenge in itself, I fear. Needless to say, we will be requiring your services once again. Some grade 5 dark matter. Okay. Sanding it down. Yeah, I vaguely recall this being a quest from before. I don't think this is new. I don't know why these UI elements are all over the place. If the flawless crystals you procured for us are to retain their elemental purity during the shaping process, a very specific set of abrasive substances will be required. Well, I say substances, but one might just as well call them one substance, namely ether sand, which has 4 elementally aspected varieties. Alas, ether sand is neither common nor cheap. Indeed, it is not unusual for the abrasive to exceed the value of the precious stones it's used to polish. Great. Given the rarity of the materials in question, the Goldsmiths Guild in Uldar seemed the likeliest place to purchase the quantity required. When I contacted the Guildmaster, however, I was informed that no ether sand was currently available. Though I requested that word be sent as soon as new stock came in, I've yet to receive aught but apologies. I should mention at this point that I placed the order some time before you procured the flawless crystals. I'm well aware that acquiring ether sand is no small feat, of course, and I'm not an impatient man. But I fear the more we delay our investigation, the greater the risk that the tower's secrets may fall into the hands of other, less savoury parties. Although, of course, they're still going to have to go through the process of entry, so that is why I wish to entrust you with this payment for our purchase and send you to speak directly with Guildmaster Serendipity. Mayhap the presence of such a distinguished personage will spur the guild into action. In any event, it is my hope that when we next meet, you will have found at least one of the 4 varieties of ether sand we require. I seem to recall Serendipity has a unique set of dialogue if you've already got goldsmithing up to level 50. I think there's a... yes. There is an Ethernet point. Ba, 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 ba. Ah, Mistress Thornley, welcome, welcome. What brings you here, if I may ask? I think we have interacted with her before for various quests. What is this? A bulging gill pouch. You're here on behalf of the Sons of St. Coinach. What fortunate timing. I was just about to contact Master Ambrose with the news that we've finally managed to acquire a quantity of 5 aspected ether sands. I'm afraid it may be some time before we can supply the other 3 varieties, but you're welcome to settle accounts for that which we have now. Pray speak with Jemima over the... Ah, I do beg your pardon, it seems she's assisting another customer. Oh, gold. Camel, there must be something you can do. Without that sand, we'll have to rethink our whole design. I sympathise with your plight, sir, but as I explained, the ether sand in question is already spoken for. If you'd like to reserve the next shipment, then I'd be happy to accept the funds you've offered as partial payment. Partial? Are you saying it's not enough? I'm already stretching our research budget as it is. I suppose a man can do without a midday meal for a year or 2. Demajen, it's been too long. What brings you here then? Got your eye on something expensive, have you? That's our sand. That is a big. Well, now that is quite a money pouch. The sound of so many gills clinking together is strangely satisfying, is it not? Calming and yet invigorating at the same time. Oh no, you're here for the blooming ether sand, aren't you? Well, I can't deny the Allag civilization is a subject worth researching. The chief said he was looking into something big, but we never thought to ask him what. Wedge and I have been too busy tinkering with a new airship design to think of much else, see? Well, I say tinkering, wrestling would be more like it. Still, after much wringing of hands and gnashing of teeth, we've managed to put together a prototype crystal powder propulsion system. Got the idea for it when we heard how you lot had used corrupted crystal on board the Enterprise, as a matter of fact. Anyway, to cut a long story short, our design calls for all 4 varieties of ether sand. And that's why I can't just relinquish my claim on this batch here, even for you, lass. How we meant to usher in a brave new age of technological innovation, if not by technologically innovating, eh? Ahem. While I hesitate to interrupt such an impassioned speech, duty compels me to point out that this lady is a representative of the organisation that reserved the ether sand in question, to mention nothing of the fact that her purse is considerably larger than yours. Oh, it's like that, is it? Alright, this batch is yours, I'll let you have it. But if you're going to take my sand, it's only fair that you grant me a role in this project of yours. I'll take that as a yes. That's not how this works. Yeah, it's not every day you get a chance to experiment with the wonders of the ancients. With any luck, they'll inspire me to think up another technological innovation or two. Oh dear. Speak with Biggs. Now then, from what you told me, I'm guessing you'll be needing the other 3 varieties of elementally aspected ether sand as well, right? Then, rather than sitting on your rump waiting for a shipment that may never come, I reckon your time would be better spent looking for the stuff yourself. It just so happens I know of a good place to start. There's said to be a peddler in northern Thanalan who, very occasionally, handles the earth aspect of variety of ether sand. Wedge is in the process of confirming the rumour as we speak. I thought for a second that was Wedge that was running up behind him, it's not. I know what you're thinking. When did my timid little friend decide he didn't need me to hold his hand anymore? The answer being, just the other day. Seems he's been inspired by a certain adventurer's heroic example. I thought he was joking when he volunteered to go to Thanalan without me. I just hope he manages to stay out of trouble. Head out to Blue Frog and you should find him poking about with his new bodyguard. Oh, did I not mention her? Wedge thought it might be wise to hire an adventurer to accompany him, just in case your heroic example turned out to be less inspiring than he first thought. Oh. That's the unlock quest for the Goldsmiths Guild. As I said, I've not done much except the main story quest on this character. This is actually taking longer than I thought it would, considering they've cut it down. I suppose having to wait for those fates to pop before the previous quest did take some time. Save your greetings. If you're looking for a high blade, then you have to look elsewhere. After the day I've had, the only company I crave is the Scott Silent type. A type that has a handle and holds no less than a pint of ale. Heh, you wish to hear my tale? I warn you, it is no stirring epic. But as you asked, my employer, a Lalafellan lad, wished to pay a visit to a peddler who deals in some kind of special sand. Forget what it was called, but it is apparently worth a fortune. Anyway, when we arrived, the man claimed his stock had been stolen by bandits. Determined not to return empty-handed, we crept into the bandits' stronghold and set about locating the stolen goods. Long story short, alarms were raised, rogues were awoken, and we fled in a blind panic. I was separated from my employer in the confusion. I've not seen him since. Oh, friend of yours, is he? And you'd best be prepared for the worst. It is just possible the poor sod may yet be lost in the old Demajen and Mithril mine, but I fear the bandits will have caught up with him by now. Not much of a bodyguard if you ran away. I thought the whole point of being a bodyguard was that you actually guarded the body. I suppose if you can get separated, but surely you're still being paid to go and look for him? Clearly I am not a bodyguard. Hello, Flame Sergeant Dalvag. You're looking very spooky today. I seem to recall, don't we find him cowering in a building or something? Or was he on a building? Actually, Yeah, he's in here. Potato! A wedge of potato. How can I be so stupid? Sneaking into a bandit's lair. It's just not the sort of thing I do. Now I'm going to die for it. No, I just need to calm down. I can do this. I can be brave. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to walk out of here. Here we go. Psych. Yeah. I'm sorry. Please don't kill me. I can't do that for longer. Please don't kill me. I promise I'll leave and never come back. Hi. Demajen, is it really you? But how'd you find me? Can you smell fear? Actually, ignore the smell. I expect you're wondering why I'm here. Well, I was just in the process of retrieving some stolen ether sand, which Biggs and I need for our research. As it happens, it was, I concede, perhaps a touch foolish and very nearly fatal, but I did succeed in snatching the stuff before my bodyguard ran away and several dozen bandits came piling after me with knives and axes and what looked very much like a plank with a rusty nail in it. Anyway, the important thing is that the stolen ether sand is right here in my oh dear. It must have fallen out when I was taking evasive manoeuvres. It seems I won't be leaving this infernal place for a while yet. How about I kill everything for you? Yes, well, we will find the ether sand in your stead. Oh, thank the gods. You're a true friend, Demajen. I hope the search doesn't prove too troublesome. The bandits don't seem to care much for visitors. No, because they're bandits. That's how they roll. I was going to say, do I actually have to kill things for it? But no, it's a fairly obvious bag. A really big bag at that. Is there something going to show up to attack me? No. No, there is not. That's oddly disappointed. Disappointing, even. Ow. I just bit my gum. Muppet. Demajen, have you had any luck locating the ether sand? Certainly have. Yes, that's it. I must return to the workshop at once and tell Biggs the wonderful news. That, you're also on a mission to collect ether sand. You're working with the chief. A treasure trove of Allag knowledge, you say? I see. Then you should really be the one to have this. Biggs and I are far from exhausting all possible avenues of airship innovation, but it sounds as if your problem can't be solved by any other means. This expedition of yours sounds jolly interesting, I must say. I'm half inclined to join you. In fact, I think I will. Any adventure worth the chief's time must be worth a look. Right, I'm more than ready to leave this awful place behind, and you should return to Mordona with that ether sand before there are any more, little mishaps. Be sure to keep a close eye on your pockets. So basically, this is just one big attunement quest, the likes of which they used to have in World of Warcraft and other games. But obviously, it's a bit more story focused. When this came out, of course, it was the first 24-man raid in the game. So they weren't sure how people were going to take to it. They didn't know whether people would be interested in it. So they thought they'd do a typical Final Fantasy thing and tie it in with a massive storyline to go with it. Which is good. From what I remember, it was a good storyline. The problem is, I think now, is that we're, 40 minutes into this. So it's already taken quite a while. And I don't think we're far enough along yet for... I should probably go and look up, actually, just what part of this quest we need unlocked. But I'm assuming we need access to the Labyrinth of the Ancients, if nothing else. Ah, Demajen, you've returned. I take from your presence that you were successful in procuring us some ether sand. Tell me, which variety did you find? Fire-kissed and earth-cradled. I see. 2 varieties. Well, it's 2 more than could reasonably be expected and 2 less than I'd hoped you'd say. Forgive my flippancy. You've done well, truly. If all goes to plan, we need no longer fear death by fire or earth. Master Garland, if you'd be so kind as to prepare the relevant crystals. I shall set to work immediately. Truth be told, I've been looking forward to this. One does not encounter materials like these every day. Speaking of which, how in the seven hells did you find them? Mistake me not, old friend. I know only too well how capable you are, but ether sand isn't something you simply find gathering dust at the back of a merchant's rare gem cabinets. You had help from Biggs and Wedge? Ha! Just them to design a revolutionary new engine the moment I turn my back. How's a genius meant to rest on his laurels when his employees are so damnably inventive, eh? And now they're determined to join us, are they? Typical. I jest, of course. It will be good to have them around. Still, as a matter of professional pride, let's endeavour to procure the two remaining varieties of ether sand before they arrive, shall we? Just tell me, Rambos, have we any information on where the water and wind aspect types might be hiding? Not as of yet, but I have made certain arrangements. We shall soon see if my efforts have borne fruit. Forgive me for observing, but you seem less than enthusiastic about that prospect. If there's a complication, I'd rather we discuss it now than risk jeopardising the expedition. Mayhap an explanation is in order. But first, let us savour the preliminary victory that Demajen has won for our cause, if only for a moment. Right, I've just been and done a quick Google search for Shadowbringers, and I can't actually see where it says that you need the Crystal Tower unlocked, but I'm sure it said somewhere that it was important. Maybe I'm wrong, but either way, as far as the story is concerned, it's probably going to have some relevance if you've done this. Don't know. Maybe there'll be just a recap if you haven't. Performance for the ages. Yes, yes, I must speak of the arrangements I made to acquire the two remaining varieties of ether sand. Some days ago, I asked a Charlatan acquaintance of mine to travel to Gridania and there gather the necessary materials. Since that time, however, I've heard nary a whisper from him. To be frank, this lack of communication is not entirely uncharacteristic, but I can't discount the possibility that something ill has befallen the man. Alas, we do not have time to investigate his fates. As I've mentioned before, the more we delay our expedition, the more likely it is that the Crystal Tower's secrets will fall into the wrong hands. Therefore, I must entrust you with the same mission I assigned to my friend. Travel to the Black Shroud and seek out Pos Montre, the master of the markets in Gridania. If anyone knows where ether sand might be bought, it's he. It's an awful lot of travelling. He's the master of the market boards, isn't he? So we can go to the Lancers Guild. Is it the Lancers Guild or is it the Leatherworkers Guild? It's the Leatherworkers Guild. Oops. Osmondre! Yes, I'm sorry. Did you say you wish to purchase ether sand? Forgive me, madam, but have you the faintest idea of the rarity of the material you seek? Why, I have not seen so much as a grain of ether sand in these markets for many a long year. I could tell you where one might mine the ore from which the water aspect of variety of the abrasive is derived, but only a desperate fool would willingly set foot in the place. You seem undeterred. Very well. Are you familiar with Earth's Gift? That is where the ore is to be found, in an area inhabited by a particularly pernicious hog. Should you encounter the Betusk's nightmare, you will know that you are in the right place, albeit at the wrong time. Farewell. Okay. Yes, Earth's Gift is where you start the Odin trial, if I remember correctly. Which I don't think I've done on this character either. As I said, I haven't done much of anything on this one. Hogs Wild! Right. This pig is dead. Why is it dead? I've always liked this model. It's hefty. You are too late, adventurer, and not only for the entertainment. You will find no trace of the ore which but recently lay here, nay, not so much as a speck. Ah, no, you will never spy me from there. For the time being, at least, you will have to trust the evidence of your ears. Now stop squinting at the foliage and listen. As I told you, the water-blessed mineral you hope to find is gone, taken by me. Victory has made me magnanimous, however. Accordingly, I have decided to share the location of an alternative source of ether sand with you, the wind-touch variety to be specific. I trust I have your attention. Good. A band of Ixal in the North Shroud keeps a quantity of the abrasive for the purpose of removing impurities from lesser crystals. Well, you mean to dally here all day? Make haste, adventurer, before I snatch another prize from under your nose. This is to be a race. The Ixali logging grounds in the North Shrouds will be our destination, and that is where the real amusement will begin. May the best man win. I don't remember who that is. Is that oh, there's the fate going on up there. I thought, is that a giant hog? It is a giant hog. Right, to the logging grounds. Grounds. Ba-ba. Doing this on level 61 character obviously is smarter because a lot of the areas that we're going to have higher level enemies in, which you'd have to fight if you're doing this at level 50. All of these things would aggro, especially these guys. Oh no, a hostile presence. Hostile, but not very difficult. Mine. I love the lighting effects for the really bright sources of illumination. Look a bit rubbish up close, but so does everything else in Final Fantasy XIV, sadly. Bravo! That was quite a show, adventurer. Why, the spectacle proved so enthralling that all thoughts of ether sand slipped my mind. I appear to have forfeited our little race. Congratulations, the wind-touched abrasive is yours. And yet, having been treated to such a memorable performance, I cannot help feeling that the greater prize is mine. This inequality must not stand. I insist that you accept a token of my appreciation. Payment for the entertainment will be waiting for you to the east in a clearing within Proud Creek. Pray, retrieve the gift, ere it is crushed beneath the iron feet of the Dullans. I seriously cannot remember who this is. Is it Nero? It may be Nero. Ba, 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 da. Yeah, there's another fate that spawns. I think it is it here? Yeah. So again, this does put you in quite a bit of harm's way if you're on level for it. Not what you were expecting. I took the liberty of refining the ore from Earth's gift into ether sand. Do keep it safe, adventurer. Lest you accuse me of playing games, you should know that the thought of relinquishing my prize never once crossed my mind until I saw you in action. Such deeds must needs be rewarded. It is my vocation, you see, to record history as it is made by mortal men, and I much prefer to chronicle the accomplishments of the bold and the mighty. Thus, it is my fervent wish that you continue your career with the same courage and zeal you have shown today. We shall meet again, adventurer, and sooner than you may imagine. What was this right here? I forget. No memory. Or rather, it's been 4 years. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. What news of your mission? Are we any closer to acquiring the remaining abrasives? Wind touched, water blessed. You bought both? I shall have Master Garland begin work on the crystals immediately. Bum bum. There, that should do the trick. They're all shiny. Excellent work. Now possess all 4 of the fangs required to pierce the Crystal Tower's defences. My compliments, Master Garland. Oh, it was a trifling matter, I assure you. Demajen here is the one you should be thanking. Anyway, by my reckoning, there's nothing stopping us from striding up to the Allag's front door. You can't go without us, Chief. Yay. Biggs, Wedge, come to lend a hand, have you? Well, it's not every day you get the chance to study the wonders of the Allag Empire, is it? Their technology makes Gala molds look ancient. I appreciate your enthusiasm, lads, I really do, but we're not here to take this knowledge for ourselves. Twice in the last decade, the promise of unimaginable power has prompted men to meddle with technology they don't understand, and the realm has been dragged into the very brink of oblivion on both occasions. We shall not be so irresponsible as to risk another. Wedge, do you recall our company's creed? Yes, Chief. It's freedom through technology. Exactly. Freedom. When we forsook our homeland, we swore that we would have no truck with machines that could be used to promote tyranny. That has not changed. Should you feel tempted to break your oath, remember this. The wonders of the all-knowing Allag Empire could not save their civilization. And have damn near doomed ours. Twice. That is why we must explore the Crystal Tower and, if needs be, seal away its secrets. So creepy, his grin. A compelling viewpoint. It is unyielding wills such as yours that have defined the course of history. It is great here. So you return at last. What, pray tell us, kept you so wholly preoccupied that you could not spare a moment to inform me of your progress or preservation? Why, the task you assigned to me, of course. Surely you have not forgotten about the ether sand. A task a passing adventure with delivering it. A more capable courier, I could not imagine. Whee! Boing! He's got the eye. Greetings, adventurer. Did I not say we would meet again? It is Gratier. I believe an introduction is in order. I am Gratier, one of the students of Baldissian. I look forward to joining you on your groundbreaking expedition. Gratier has been assigned to the project as an observer. I hope you will forgive him his eccentricities and welcome him as one of our own. So then, our fellowship is complete, and all stand ready to step into the unknown. 3 cheers for Noah! Noah? That is the name I have chosen for our little collective. Given our differing backgrounds, we cannot very well call ourselves the Sons of St. Cunnock, can we? And we must have a memorable appellation if our venture is to leave its mark in the annals of history. I could claim that Noah stands for Nominated Observers of His Artifacts Historical, and so it does, technically. But my true reason for sharing this name stems from the fact that it is shared by a vaunted Allagan Archmagus. An Archmagus? I like the sound of that. Emoting. Very well. Now that the pressing matter of what to call ourselves has been settled, it is time we set forth to brave the outer defences of the Crystal Tower. Is everyone ready to depart? Yep. Not. Ready! And if I remember correctly... Oh, no. What? Hey. Labyrinth of the Ancients. Gratier is eager to begin the expedition to the Crystal Tower. Esteemed colleagues, the secrets of ancient Allag beckon. Let's not keep them waiting any longer. Adventurer, you and I will join the engineers at the Crystal Tower's main gateway, while we will endeavour to neutralise the structure's outer defences. Rambos, meanwhile, will remain here and oversee the operation. Given my knowledge of Allagan history, it seems logical that I should lead the expedition itself. Though I admit the role does not exactly befit my status as an observer. Still, we can but make use of the resources at hand. Assuming all are in agreement, let us proceed forthwith to the large lopsided gate found to the southeast. So yeah, this is the actual unlock quest itself. And I'm assuming, if I'm not completely off base, that just having entrance to the Labyrinth of the Ancients will probably be enough. Or maybe you don't need it at all. Maybe there'll be something else. Don't know. Because it would seem a bit daft otherwise, allowing you access to the Crystal Tower if you hadn't done this stuff. Or maybe there'll be an updated version of it that you'll just be able to skip if you've already done this storyline. That would be quite cool. You know, if they do a kind of level 70 updated version of the questline. The Crystal Tower lies beyond this portal. Now comes the interesting part. Sid, you are the only one of our number who has ever crossed this threshold. I ask that you take the lead for the present. I've just realised that this is level 50 Sid with his level 50 gear on. Because he's got an updated outfit for later stuff. I've always liked the lighting effects at night in FF14. Daytime, yeah. But nighttime, I think, is where everything really, if you'll forgive the pun, shines. I say, the energy radiating from these statues is palpable. That means you can feel it. Lucky for us that it is. One might otherwise stroll past them. Feast your eyes on the elemental defences which prompted our lengthy preparations. These sentinels prevent would-be intruders from advancing to within 20 yards of the tower's inner reaches. Pretty good defences, to be honest. No matter how swift they may be. Happily, the crystal fangs we took such pains to craft should spare us the inconvenience of instantaneous annihilation. Here, allow me to demonstrate. Chief, it's too dangerous to allow anyone else to risk his life testing one. Quite right. I made the damn things. It's my job to see that they work. Stabe. Well done, Sid. You've just blown up 1,000 years worth of history. Success. I, for one, am convinced. Friends, ready your fangs. Truly, we are archaeologists. This last one is yours, old friend. It seemed only right. And hurrah! History has successfully been destroyed. Ah, we did it! So much for the outer defences. Indeed. The entrance to the tower is near at hand. My blood fairly sings with anticipation. Speaking of blood, I have a proposal for the next stage of the expedition. I suggest we wait here while Demajen and a hand-picked party of her adventuring companions enter the tower. What? Without us? I thought we came here to survey the entire structure. We did, and we will, but our investigations must proceed at a more measured pace. If the outside of the place is this well defended, can you imagine what awaits us on the inside? Only a true hero could reasonably hope to brave the hazards ahead and live to tell the tale. Demajen here fits that description better than anyone I know. And it's not as if we shall be idle in her absence. While Demajen and her companions are risking life and limb to beat us a path to the tower, we can set about analysing the rubble for evidence of how its technologies function. Your knowledge of ancient lore will be invaluable in this endeavour, Historian Grahatir, buttering him up. Ah, do you ever tire of being right, old man? Demajen? As it seems I won't be accompanying you, allow me at least to provide some instruction. The maze that surrounds the base of the tower is known as the Labyrinth of the Ancients. During this initial foray, I suggest you concentrate on ridding the place of hostile elements. When you are reasonably certain the maze is secure, contact me via link shell, and we shall join you post-haste, no matter what Master Garland says. Though we would prefer it if any relics you encounter remained intact, you have leave to do whatever is necessary to secure ingress to the upper levels of the tower. Fortune go with you. It's quite pretty, is the Crystal Tower. From Labyrinth of the Ancients, now accessible. Duties for alliances. This duty is designed to be undertaken by an alliance. A squad of 24 adventurers formed of 3 full parties. The battle composition is reserved for large-scale duties only. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we can now access... Ooh, gloom. Bum, 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 bum. So yes, we can now access the Crystal Tower. There are 3 24-man raids in the Crystal Tower. There's the Labyrinth of the Ancients. There's 2 others. It's been so long since I've done them. I can't. Circus Tower is the 2nd one. And I can't remember what the final one is. In fact, don't know. I'll put that up on the screen once I've looked it up. So there we go. That's taken us about an hour to unlock the Labyrinth of the Ancients. So if you have to do that as part of the kind of Shadowbringers stuff, it's not the speediest. But yeah, I mean, if they want you to do that, having an updated version for level 70, I think would be a pretty cool idea. Assuming they need you to do it at all. Maybe they just assume that you've done it or what. It'll be interesting to see how they get around that. Because I'm sure it said somewhere that you need to have done something Crystal Tower related, but I couldn't find it with a quick Google search. If there is something, again, I'll put that up on the screen for us now. There we go, Crystal Tower unlock. Pretty interesting quest so far. As I said, it's a big ass achievement. The quests in between the raids aren't anywhere near as long and involved as that, although there are some. Hope you've enjoyed this little trip down memory lane. I certainly have found it most enlightening. Catch you on the next video. Toodle pip. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button and subscribe. Remember to ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, toodle pip.